Hello and welcome back to This Is Me, but it's all about you. So, my weekly podcast about us as women, about what we go through, about what we feel, all the fears, all the doubts, all the insecurities. And it's not just women, it's everybody globally. And I come from a place of knowing. And that's why I want to share my journey. And if it helps one person who's listening to this, then I've done my job. Because it's a strange one, and it's a strange life that we go through, and this brain of ours can create our lives. What we think, we create our life with. What we think about ourselves, we create our life with. And everybody thinks that it's all the external circumstances around us that create our lives, but it's how we react. It's how we respond. And today, I want to talk about something that really infuriates me. Is one word, all right? But thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me. Grab yourself a coffee. I've got mine. And I think this one word affects so many of us more than we realise, all right? It's the word fine. 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 And it's a word I've come to dislike intensely. Now, on the surface, fine doesn't sound like a problem, does it? People ask you, how are you? Fine. People ask you, how's your day gone? Yeah, it's been fine. But fine may not appear to be terrible. Fine may not appear to be a complete disaster. Fine may not appear that you've hit rock bottom. Fine is just fine. And sometimes that is exactly the problem. Fine isn't great. Fine isn't amazing. Fine isn't wonderful, you know? And that is the problem. Because when life becomes unbearable, we do something about it, don't we? Or do we? I want you to ask yourself. When things become painful, we change it. Or do we? Think about it. Think about the last times your life was unbearable or painful. Did you just ride your way through it, telling everybody you were fine? Or did you do something about it? And for years, I lived a life that was just fine. It was carrying on with a successful corporate career. I earned great money. I was well respected in it. If they told me to do more hours, I did it. If anybody asked me how I was fine. I was ticking all the boxes that society expected of me. And then it came to the age of 57 when I hit the wall and got burnout. But I told everybody I was fine. Even then, even then, I told everybody I was fine. But I was dying inside. And I always knew all my life that I was meant for more, as you probably do, as this probably resonates with you. I was meant for more. I knew there was something more I had to do and give in this life. And I knew that only I could do it. But I stayed where I was. I stayed in that corporate life. Not because my life was bad. It was far from it. But I knew I wasn't truly living my fullest potential, my fullest capability. And I think so many out there can relate to this. So many women can relate to this. We become responsible. We change. We become dependable. Life takes over. We become that person that everybody turns to. You know, we take care of the family, we juggle the responsibilities, we take care of the career, we take care of everybody else's needs. But my question to you is, when do you take care of yourself? Because somewhere along the way, you stop asking what you want, what we want, and you start giving what everybody else wants. But what do we really want as human beings in our lives? And the years pass, sometimes decades. And I got to the age of 57 until I suddenly realised, due to that illness and burnout, enough was enough. I was done building somebody else's dreams. I wanted to build mine. And I realised one big thing, that I had become comfortable with a life that no longer excited me. I had an amazing family, I still do. I had an amazing hubby, I still do, who I love dearly. But that career, that life in corporate life, that Groundhog Day, that loss of time with loved ones, all those hours I was working, it didn't excite me. I was just going through the motions. I was just living that life day by day, going through the motions. And I want to be clear about this, because some people might think, it is scary. Absolutely, I agree with you. It's scary. It's not about throwing your life upside down, guys. It's not about being ungrateful for what you've got. It's not even about believing happiness lives somewhere else, because happiness comes from within. It comes from within outwards. This is all about being honest with yourself. This is about asking yourself, am I fulfilled in my life? And if you are, great. Not fine, great. Amazing. Because that's how we should feel. That's how we should truly feel. It's about saying to yourself, am I truly fulfilled, or am I just comfortable? Because comfort and fulfillment are not the same thing. They're not the same thing. Comfort keeps us safe. Fulfillment helps us grow. And comfort says, stay where you are. All right? Don't rock the boat. Don't do anything to rock the boat. Don't do anything to upset people. That's what comfort is. Whereas fulfillment says, I am worth so much more, and I am absolutely 100% capable of so much more. That's what fulfillment is. So one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that when you have fear and doubt and worry, they don't arrive telling you what it is. They don't arrive saying, hi, I'm fear. They disguise themselves in so many different ways. They disguise themselves as the comments going around in your head saying, I'm not capable. I'm too old. I'm too busy to think about myself. I've left it too late. What will people think about me if I do something different? Oh, come on, let's be realistic. You're far too old. Let's be realistic. You're too late in the day to start something new. Be sensible. Stay where you are. And because all that rubbish that's going around in our heads, we listen to it. And that all that is fear, doubt, and insecurity in disguise. It's all it is. So we have to step up and decide what we want for ourselves. I did all this for years. I had all those negative emotions. I had all that fear. I had all that doubt, telling me I was too old, telling me I was too long in the tooth. Be realistic. What have you got to offer this world? I stayed there until I couldn't stay there anymore. Until I realised I wasn't doing what I loved. So the life I wanted didn't arrive by accident. It didn't just suddenly magically fall out of the sky. I made that choice to change it. And 6.5 years ago, I made a decision that scared the hell out of me. And I started an online business, and I started through fear, through doubt, through insecurities, through all the what ifs, buts, maybes. You know, I wasn't confident. I'd never put myself out on social media before. I didn't know what the heck it was all about. The kids knew more than me, but I wasn't confident. Absolutely not. Did I know what I was doing? No, I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't have all the answers. I didn't have that perfect plan. But here's the thing, I couldn't keep settling for fine. I didn't want to say to somebody when they asked me, how are you? I didn't want to say, I'm fine. I'd done that all my life. And the truth was, I wasn't fine. The decision I made didn't just change my finances, didn't just enable me to quit corporate life and live the life that was truly mine. It changed me. It changed me. It taught me who I was. It taught me who I was capable of. It taught me how confident I could be. It gave me resilience. It taught me that I was growing outside of my comfort zone so much, you know, and it taught me to believe in myself again. And if you'd have said to me 6.5 years ago, Tina, you will be talking on global stages about mindset through your business community, you would be creating a podcast for people to listen to, I'd go, get out of town. I'm not capable of that. That's not me. But here I am doing just that. Here I am, corporate free, building my dreams and nobody else's. Here I am living that life with my family and my kids and my grandkids, traveling the world, enjoying what days I have left on this planet. And is that just available to me? No, it's available to everybody, you know? And that's what I want you to think about today. That's what I want you to think about today. Where in your life have you settled for less? Where in your life have you convinced yourself that fine is enough? Think about it. What dreams have you put on hold? What would happen if you stopped listening to that fear in your head disguised as other things? What if you stopped thinking about what if? What if I fail? What if I'm old? What if what if I upset people? When are you going to stop thinking like that? When are you going to trust yourself? The thing is, we as human beings are never going to have it figured out. We always want to be in control. We always want it to be perfect. We always want to be in charge. But you know what the reality is? We don't know anything. We can't control anything. Our lives could change like that tomorrow. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's up to us to make a choice. You don't need certainty. You just need the courage to take that next step, however it may look for you. Because your future doesn't change when your circumstances externally change. Your future changes when you change and come from inside, you know? So today's episode may not change you over life, but if it just plants a seed, and it won't change you overnight, it won't. It will start changing your life if it plants that seed, a seed that can grow into a question, a seed that can enable you to start thinking about things, and if that question, however it may look, it could be, what if there is more for me? If that question keeps there going over and over in your head, what if there is more for me? Then I've done my job. Then this episode has done its job. So if this resonates with you all, then please share it with somebody who might need to hear it today. Like, follow, subscribe, enjoy this podcast, leave a review, put a comment in below, wherever you're looking for it from. Because remember, you don't have to settle for fine. You don't have to settle for less. You can change your life with that one answer. So when somebody says to you, how are you today? You want to be able to say, do you know what? I am great. Do you know what? I feel amazing. Do you know what? I am successful. Because all it takes is that one step to say, I'm not settling for less. So thank you so much for being with me here today. Thank you for listening to this. And as I say, share, like, subscribe, leave a review. I am always here for you. Take care. And until the next time, I'll see you soon.